you hear me?
There's war coming.
You bet your ass it's coming.
Let me introduce you to the fight of your life.
There's monsters everywhere in this world. You just gotta kill them when you find them.
The Yellowstone 1969 trailer opens with something unexpected: silence. No gunshots, no chaos. Just the ranch, older, quieter, and somehow heavier. The land feels the same, but the people don't. And right away, you can feel that time has taken its toll on everyone. This isn't the Yellowstone we saw in 1923. This is a Yellowstone that has survived wars, loss, and decades of sacrifice. And at the center of it all is Spencer Dutton. He looks older now, slower, but there's something else in his eyes. Not weakness, not regret, just exhaustion. The kind that comes from carrying love and pain at the same time for over 40 years. We already know Spencer never stopped loving Alexandra, and the trailer makes that painfully clear. There's a brief moment where he's standing beside her grave, and he doesn't say a word. He doesn't have to, because everything about him tells us that he never moved on. He moved forward, but he never let her go. But the trailer isn't really about Spencer, not entirely. It's about the next generation, and more importantly, it's about a boy. We see him running through the ranch, watching Spencer, watching everything. He doesn't speak much, but he doesn't need to, because this boy is observing, learning, becoming, and if the timeline is correct, this is John Dutton III. And suddenly, everything makes sense. This show isn't just continuing the Dutton story, it's explaining how John became the man we know. Because John wasn't born strong, he wasn't born fearless. He was shaped by this land, by this family, and by the people he loved and lost. What makes the trailer even more intense is the feeling that Yellowstone itself is under threat again. But this time, it's different. It's not just about survival, it's about change. The world around the ranch is evolving. Cities are growing. New people are coming. And for the first time, it feels like Yellowstone isn't just fighting enemies, it's fighting time itself. There's also a clear shift in leadership. Spencer is still there, but he's no longer the man riding into war. He's the man watching from behind, guiding, protecting, preparing the next Dutton, because deep down, he knows his time is coming to an end. And that's what makes every moment in this trailer feel heavier. Because you're not just watching the ranch, you're watching the passing of a legacy. But here's where things get even more interesting. The trailer hints that John's father is finally going to play a major role. We don't see his face clearly. We don't know everything about him yet, but his presence is undeniable. And this could finally answer the biggest mystery in the entire Dutton family tree. Whether John is Spencer's grandson or Jack's, because the way Spencer looks at the boy, it doesn't feel distant. It feels personal, almost like he's not just seeing his grandson, he's seeing himself. And if that's true, then Yellowstone 1969 isn't just the story of the ranch. It's the story of how Spencer Dutton's legacy became John Dutton III. And the trailer makes one thing very clear. This is where the legend begins. What makes the Yellowstone 1969 trailer truly wild isn't just what it shows, it's what it implies. Because beneath the quiet moments and emotional weight, there's a storm building. And this time, the threat doesn't feel like something far away. It feels close, personal, inevitable. The trailer gives us quick glimpses of tension across the ranch. The cowboys don't look relaxed. They look alert, careful, like they know something is coming. And this is important, because the Yellowstone Ranch has always been a symbol of strength. But here, for the first time, it feels vulnerable again. Not weak, just exposed, like the world has finally caught up to it. And in the middle of all this is John. He's still a boy, but you can already see the difference. He isn't playing like a normal child. He isn't careless. He watches everything with purpose. The land, the men, Spencer, his father. Because, deep down, he knows this place isn't just his home, it's his responsibility. This connects perfectly to the John Dutton we know from Yellowstone. The man who would do anything to protect his ranch. The man who carried the weight of generations on his shoulders. And now we're finally seeing where that weight began. Not when he became a man, but when he was still just a boy trying to understand what it means to be a Dutton. But the trailer also hints at something darker. There's distance between certain family members. Not hatred, not betrayal, just distance. And sometimes that's even worse, because it suggests loss, time, and choices that can't be undone. Spencer, especially, feels like a man caught between two worlds. He's still the warrior we saw in 1923, but now he's also something else. A protector of memory. He isn't just fighting for the ranch anymore, he's fighting for what it represents. For Alexandra, for Jacob, for everyone who sacrificed their lives so Yellowstone could survive. And there's one moment in the trailer that says everything without saying a word. Spencer standing still while John watches him from behind. 2 generations, 2 different versions of the same man. One at the end of his journey, the other at the very beginning. It's almost like Spencer knows that this boy will carry everything forward, knows that this boy will suffer, knows that this boy will become the last true defender of Yellowstone. And that realization changes everything, because it confirms that Yellowstone, 1969, isn't just about continuing the story. It's about transformation. It's about the exact moment when responsibility passes from one generation to the next. But that's not all. The outside world is no longer ignoring Yellowstone. It's moving closer, slowly, quietly, but with purpose. Progress is coming. New rules, new enemies, new challenges that can't be solved with just strength and loyalty. This is a different kind of war, and John is growing up right in the middle of it, which explains why he became so ruthless later, why he trusted so few people, why he loved the ranch more than anything else. Because he didn't just inherit Yellowstone, he watched it almost disappear. And the trailer makes one thing painfully clear. This was the moment John stopped being just a boy and started becoming a Dutton. The tension in the Yellowstone 1969 trailer doesn't just come from the outside world, it comes from within the Dutton family itself. And that's what makes this trailer so addictive. You can see it in the way Spencer interacts with those around him. He's no longer just the man who rides through the dust and fights off enemies with his fists. Now every glance, every pause, every quiet word carries weight. He's older, yes, but wiser. He's someone who's felt loss, betrayal, and heartbreak, and you can see it in his eyes. Alexandra's absence is everywhere, lingering like a shadow over the ranch. And yet, he keeps moving forward, because that's the Dutton way. Even grief is something you carry while still protecting what you love. And it's this mixture of grief and responsibility that makes the stakes feel so real in 1969. The trailer subtly hints that new relationships and new family dynamics will come into play. Spencer never remarried, but he had a child with a widow. That's a thread we can't ignore. The boy's presence in the trailer may seem quiet, but it carries massive implications. Is this child John's parent? Is this part of the story that will explain the cracks in the Dutton lineage we've all wondered about? Every moment in the trailer seems to tease the mystery, making you ask questions even before we hear a single word of dialogue. And that's the brilliance of it. It doesn't spoon-feed you answers. It makes you feel like a detective piecing together a puzzle that's been decades in the making. And then there's Elizabeth's shadow in all of this. Even if she isn't on screen, her choices and her legacy ripple through the story. The trailer gives subtle nods to her children and how they might fit into the Dutton lineage. Could one of them be the link that ties the past and the present together? Could she pass on the matriarchal torch in a way that reshapes the family for future generations? These are the kind of questions that make every fan sit forward, replaying moments, dissecting gestures, and analyzing the smallest details. Because every flicker of emotion in this trailer is intentional, and it's all pointing to a larger story about family, loyalty, and survival. The trailer also emphasizes the land itself. Yellowstone isn't just a backdrop, it's a living, breathing character. The sweeping shots of the ranch, the quiet grazing fields, the looming mountains, it all reminds us that this place is sacred, fragile, and worth fighting for. The land has seen generations of Duttons rise and fall, and now it's watching the next generation learn what it means to inherit such a burden. You can almost feel the tension in the soil, the wind whispering secrets of battles past, and the mountains silently observing the cycle of life and death. The way the trailer frames the ranch makes it clear that Yellowstone itself is as much a part of the story as the people who inhabit it. But what truly makes this trailer wild is the subtle sense of foreboding that runs through it. The tension isn't loud, It's not in gunshots or screaming arguments, it's in the quiet moments. Spencer pausing, the boy watching, shadows stretching across the land as the sun sets. It's in the realization that every choice has consequences, every action echoes through time, and that nothing about the Dutton legacy is simple. Yellowstone 1960 promises to be a story of quiet power, simmering tension, and an unstoppable march toward the man John Dutton III will become. And if this trailer is any indication, the journey will be as thrilling and heart-wrenching as anything we've seen in Yellowstone before. The stakes feel higher than ever, because the trailer suggests that no one, not Spencer, not the new generation, not even the land itself, is untouchable. Every moment teases danger, loss, and triumph. The Yellowstone 1969 trailer doesn't just tease the family drama, it teases the chaos that's quietly creeping in from the outside world. Cities are expanding, politics are shifting, and the world that once ignored the Duttons is now paying attention. And the trailer hints that the threats aren't only physical, they're political, financial, and emotional. Every frame reminds us that Yellowstone is no longer an isolated sanctuary. It's a prize, a target, and the Duttons, as always, are standing in the middle of it all. Spencer, in particular, carries this weight like a silent storm. He's the bridge between past and future, the keeper of secrets, and the one who understands that every decision, no matter how small, can ripple through generations. The trailer captures him in moments of quiet intensity, his gaze sweeping over the land and the people who inhabit it, making you feel the pressure of the legacy he's trying to uphold. Then there's the boy. The trailer shows fleeting moments of him learning, observing, and testing the limits of what it means to be a Dutton. Every glance he exchanges with Spencer, every hesitant step he takes on the ranch, hints at a future that's both terrifying and incredible. We've seen John Dutton III as a legendary figure in Yellowstone, but 1969 gives us a chance to see the moment he started to carry the weight of this world on his shoulders. The trailer suggests that the challenges he will face as a child and teenager will shape the ruthless, intelligent, and strategic man we eventually know. It's subtle, yet powerful. You don't need dialogue to feel it. The tension in the trailer does all the talking. But it isn't just about John and Spencer. The trailer hints at other characters and their roles in shaping the family's destiny. Elizabeth's influence, though unseen, casts a shadow over many moments. The potential children she might have with Jack, or someone else entirely, add layers of suspense. Who will rise as the matriarch? Who will carry the torch of leadership? And how will these new relationships affect the balance of power on the ranch? The trailer teases these mysteries with just enough subtlety to keep fans theorizing, rewatching, and debating. Every fleeting shot, every pause, every stare seems loaded with hidden meaning, hinting at the complex family dynamics that will define this chapter in the Yellowstone saga. What makes the trailer even more thrilling is the palpable sense of inevitability. You can feel that time is moving relentlessly forward. The ranch, the land, and the Duttons themselves are all caught in the currents of change. Spencer is no longer the young man charging into battles. He's older, more calculating, and painfully aware of his own mortality, and that awareness makes the stakes feel higher. Every choice matters. Every decision can make or break the legacy of the Yellowstone Ranch. The trailer captures this tension perfectly, balancing quiet, reflective moments with flashes of suspense that hint at the danger looming on every horizon. And yet, despite all the tension, loss, and uncertainty, there's a thread of hope running through the trailer. It's subtle, almost hidden beneath the weight of the story, but it's there. The ranch will survive, the family will endure, and the boy, watching, learning, and growing, will eventually rise to the challenge. The trailer doesn't just show us Yellowstone 1969, it makes us feel it. It puts us inside the ranch, inside the Dutton family, inside the decisions that will define a legacy. And by the end, you realize that this isn't just a prequel, it's the moment that explains everything. The moment where history, family, and destiny collide to shape the man who will become John Dutton III. Every frame is a promise, every scene a prelude to the story that fans have been waiting decades to see unfold. Yellowstone 1969 is ready to be wild, suspenseful, and unforgettable, and this trailer proves it. The final moments of the Yellowstone 1969 trailer are what truly leave you breathless. It's not just the sweeping shots of the ranch or the quiet, tense stares exchanged between characters. It's the feeling that something massive is on the horizon. The trailer doesn't reveal everything, but it hints at seismic changes coming to the Dutton legacy. The ranch isn't just a home anymore. It's a battleground of loyalty, love, and survival. Every corner of the land seems alive, watching, as if it knows the storms the family will face. And the characters, even in silence, reflect that tension. Spencer's presence looms large, not as the hero riding into battle, but as the anchor, the one who has lived through loss and knows the cost of every decision. His quiet authority and the burden he carries remind us why Yellowstone has always been more than a ranch. It's a lineage, a legacy, and a responsibility that spans generations. John's presence in the trailer is electric. The boy doesn't yet have the power or experience of his adult self, but the way he observes, the way he listens, the way he internalizes the events around him, it's clear that he's absorbing everything. Every conversation, every gesture, every subtle warning is shaping him into the relentless, strategic man we eventually meet in Yellowstone. You can feel the tension building with every shot, because the trailer doesn't just show the events, it shows the impact those events will have on the boy. And that impact isn't immediate, it's generational. The choices made in 1969 will echo into the future, influencing not just John, but the entire Dutton family for decades to come. The trailer also teases conflict that's both internal and external. From the outside world, you can sense new threats approaching: political pressures, outsiders interested in the land, and inevitable societal changes. But inside the family, there's tension too. Spencer's relationships, the mystery surrounding John's father, and the unseen influence of Elizabeth and her potential children all create layers of suspense. The trailer balances these elements masterfully, letting us feel the danger without over-explaining it. Every look, every movement, every silence carries weight. It's this careful layering of suspense, emotion, and mystery that makes the trailer so thrilling and gives fans a taste of the intricate storytelling Yellowstone has become known for. And then there's the emotional weight. The trailer reminds us that Yellowstone isn't just about fights and survival. It's about love, loss, and legacy. Spencer's grief, the boy's curiosity, and the unspoken bonds between the characters make every frame resonate. The ranch itself feels like a character, and the trailer captures its essence perfectly. From the quiet sunrise over the fields to the tension-filled standoffs, you can feel the history of the land beneath every footstep. The legacy of the Duttons is heavy, but it's also inspiring, and the trailer manages to communicate both the burden and the pride of carrying that legacy forward. By the end of the trailer, one thing is clear: Yellowstone 1969 is going to be wild, suspenseful, and emotionally gripping. It's a prequel that doesn't just set up the past, it shapes the future. It gives fans insight into the family dynamics, the roots of John Dutton III, and the early battles, both external and internal, that defined the Dutton legacy. Every shot, every pause, and every moment of tension leaves you on the edge of your seat, eager to see how the story unfolds. This isn't just a first look, it's a promise that Yellowstone 1969 will live up to its name, delivering drama, suspense, and unforgettable storytelling that fans have been waiting for. The stage is set, the legacy is unfolding, and the Duttons are just getting started. But the real magic of the Yellowstone 1969 trailer isn't just in the story, it's in the way it makes you feel. Every second is crafted to pull you in, to make you question who will survive, who will lead, and who will fall. You can almost hear the weight of decades pressing down on the ranch, and that weight translates to every character on screen. Spencer, though older and weary, still carries the fire of the Dutton spirit. His moments of silence, his deliberate movements, and the way he watches the boy aren't just gestures. They're lessons, warnings, and glimpses into the mind of a man who knows the cost of every choice. And the boy, John, is absorbing it all. He's learning loyalty, courage, and the burden of a family legacy that isn't just about land, it's about honor, survival, and identity. The trailer also makes it clear that Yellowstone 1969 is a turning point in the Dutton story. We see hints of the outside pressures the ranch will face: government, newcomers, and the changing times. and how these forces will test the family in ways that weren't even imaginable in 1923. But unlike previous generations, this one must navigate not only physical threats, but also moral and emotional challenges. Every glance between characters, every word left unspoken, adds layers of tension. And this is what makes the trailer so engaging. It's not just action, it's a slow-burning storm of suspense, with moments that make your heart race and your mind spin with theories. And speaking of theories, the trailer teases the ultimate mystery. Who is John Dutton III?